Howdy, hello, ladies and gentlemen, once again, back to the Kingknub Show. I'm your host, Kingknub, or you can call me Reggie Amerson, or my formal name, Reginald Amerson, or you can just call me Kingknub. Today, I got some stuff for you. So if you happen to live on the planet Earth, you've probably realized that all the talk around COVID has disappeared. Mandates have been dropped by most of the Democratic states and cities, and also Republican places that help these things up, which they're weak for doing that. Also, you don't see the hysteria from most people anymore. You probably can't find a video right now online where people are still probably freaking out about the mask. There are probably some, because these people are literally insane, but for the most part, it's died out. Why is that? It's simply because of the Russia-Ukraine situation. Fear-mongering with COVID-19 couldn't work forever, and globalists knew that, so they had to push to something else: war. If you've been paying attention to mainstream media at all, you've probably seen a lot of propaganda, mainly it being saying that Ukraine is good and Russia is bad. There is no nuance to that, there's nothing to it, and it doesn't matter that people in Russia exist, it only matters that people in Ukraine exist. Pray for Ukraine, but forget the Russians. But I digress. It's not what this video is about today. Today we're talking about a country that was talked about for a very long time at the height of all this COVID nonsense: Australia. We've known since the hype of this stuff, at the very top of this stuff when it was going on, Australia was always being looked at because of how tyrannical the government was there to its people. You would have students in school being forcibly vaccinated and their parents not being informed of it, because the government just said it was okay or whatever. They were all pushing this vaccine nonsense, they were pushing the war, but now that war is the talk of the town, now the documents regarding the vaccine kind of got pushed underneath the rug, and the reports came out. There were over 1,200 side effects to the vaccine. There have been all kinds of talk about people getting myocarditis, people passing out, and people just, young healthy people dying randomly, people passing out in the field. But it was always, well, we don't know what's going on. The trial results made it very clear, but no one's talking about that anymore. It's all about Russia, Ukraine, all the time now. That's all you will hear, unfortunately. I'm making this video about the wrong topic. Let me get into the stuff here. Well, it's on Australia, right? Australia was the place pushing these vaccine mandates on all of these people the whole time. And now, here's what the topic's about. There was a flood in Australia, and if you were unvaccinated, you could not volunteer to help anyone during this. To volunteer with the SES, you had to be fully vaccinated. You could be a criminal, and you could still go help, but if you're unvaccinated, you couldn't go help.
So people who are unvaccinated, if they're coming to fill their own sandbags, it's not a problem. If they come to assist the SES, they then have to QR code in as what we call a spontaneous volunteer, which means they're under the rules and regulations of the SES, and unfortunately one of the regulations is that you have to be fully vaccinated to be a member of SES or to do that role.
Does that seem a bit bizarre in an emergency? Do you take criminals?
Look, it depends on the situation.
Where the local SES have posted online that they're struggling to get volunteers to help, but while struggling to get volunteers to do this life-saving work, they say that unvaccinated volunteers cannot help.
How bloody ridiculous is that? Yeah. But we've got politicians that are not vaccinated. That's okay, but you can't have a volunteer. Not even worth talking about. The insanity of it.
Who do you rather have at your door helping you protect your home, a criminal or unvaccinated?
Unvaccinated, I guess, would make more sense, wouldn't it?
Literal criminals can help for some reason. Literal criminals, under some circumstances, can help, but if you're unvaccinated, you can't. How bizarre is that? I could take a poll right now in person to every person I would see walking down the street, and I would ask them, who would you rather help you out to help you protect your property and help you through a flood? A criminal or an unvaccinated person? Who would you rather have help you? They will all say the unvaccinated person. No one wants a criminal to help them protect their property. Isn't it absolutely bizarre that during an emergency situation, if you're unvaccinated, you can't go help? How much of them... Do the people in charge even perceive this as an emergency? People's livelihoods are literally being destroyed by these floods and natural disasters. Shouldn't you want anyone who can help to come help? Wouldn't you want, would it matter to you if someone's unvaccinated? It wouldn't matter to me. I'm unvaccinated. I trust me to help myself or other people during a situation like this. It's been stated over time and time again, over 99% of the people who had got COVID survived COVID. And that increases when you take away old people and obese people, when you have perfectly healthy people, they like never died from COVID-19. I had COVID twice myself, 2-time survivor, by the way. My lungs are just fine. Like I can inhale real deep. There's a lot of oxygen in there. I breathe out. My lungs, my respiratory system, it's all just fine. But the evil people in Australia, the people ruling over these people with an iron fist, do not care whatsoever about the reality of all this. And it's unfortunate. Mainstream media won't report on this, but I will. Red Liberty Media will deliver you this stuff here. Plus, it's also good to get some other news outside of Russia and Ukraine the whole time. What are your thoughts on all this? I know I probably spoke for you in a lot of this. Don't let me speak for you. How would you feel about this? Would you care whether or not someone's vaccinated? Do you think Australia is doing a little too much and being a little too overboard with these mandates in Australia? Let me know your thoughts. I can't tell you how I feel completely, but I can if, you know, because my emotions are a little, I can't say what I want to say completely on YouTube, but I can if you go over to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/Red Liberty Media. Go there right now, become a member. And if you want to hear the hard-hitting info, the stuff that could probably get me banned on YouTube, which it has on my personal channel plenty of times, but I can say it there freely. So go support us there, patreon.com/Red Liberty Media. I'll see you there. Anyways, folks, that's going to be all for me. Hope you all had a great time. This has been Kingknub and the Kingknub Show, and I'll see you next time.